Studio behind me, behind the screen, the invisible screen. Doesn't actually work. David's waving at you, Jee. Okay, so we're going to sit first for a couple of breaths. So if you take something to sit on, Jee, anything you like. And do you want me to move these so that you can see me a bit better? I tell you what, how I do this is I can see you in the screen. You can see me in the screen. So even though I've got my back to you, I'm still got my beady eye on you.
I bet you.
Yes, everything should be there in my bijou studio. Don't worry about that. Okay. All right. So let me know any problems in advance, and but I think everybody's here now, so we'll get started. So we just cross your shin bones at the centre, and we're going to take the buttock flesh out to the sides, and I want you to visualise your buttock bones. Okay, so they're like this, and find the inner edge on each buttock bone and pull the flesh diagonally out towards the outer hip, like you're making this V shape. And I always say to people, imagine your buttocks are smiling. So the crease of your buttocks is getting wider. Okay, and it helps then to sit up better. And then bring your hands down beside your pelvis and sit nice and tall. Sit on a lift. If you need to sit on a chair, sit on a chair. No problem at all with that, because as long as you're still lifting your spine, that's the action that we need. Okay, and then just bring your palms together in front of your chest and close your eyes for a few moments. And we're just going to focus on the breath. Soft, slow inhalation. Soft, slow exhalation. And feel that with each inhalation, the spine lifts more away from the pelvis, and with each exhalation, there's a feeling of softness across the shoulders. And I'm going to chant 3 Om sounds. You don't have to join in, but if you wish to, you can join with me. So we take an inhalation first. And then on your next exhalation, lower the head towards the hands, taking the head towards the heart region. Release the hands down and raise the head. Okay, extend your legs forwards. So we're going to do some work on a pose called Virabhadrasana 1, which is a warrior pose. But I know a couple of you have been away for a while, so don't worry, I'm not going to throw you in at the deep end today. You need to get a belt first, and you need to lie down with your feet flat to the wall. So we're going to go to the wall, have the legs bent, hands beside you, and then you roll the spine down and put your feet flat to the wall like that, trying to get that feeling of connectedness between the leg bone and the pelvis. Okay, so make sure your feet are well pressed into the wall. Just have your belt across your pelvis and then be there. And we'll take some arm work first and then leg work. Okay. Now, bear in mind, some of you, that when you lie down, I won't be able to see you. So if you wanted to adjust the camera, now's the time before you get settled. And you can have the feet slightly apart. You can have the feet together. It doesn't matter, actually. It depends on, how you're feeling today. If you're feeling a bit stiff, a bit tired, then keep the feet slightly apart. If you're menstruating, keep the feet apart. Although, yeah, okay. All right. Now, first of all, have a look at your feet. Just lift your head and have a look and see that your toes are pointing towards the ceiling and the inner edges of your feet are vertical. So in other words, you haven't got one foot doing something odd. That will usually relate to the hip. or the groin, and then take your shoulders under. So if you bend your elbows and put your elbows on the floor and tuck your shoulder blades under, press your outer shoulder bones down. If you've got room, take the arms out to the side. If you haven't got room, just bring the arms out as far as you can. And stretch the arms out parallel to the level with the shoulders, palms facing up. So this is a big stretch for the pectoral region, the armpit region. So bring the arms down a little bit, G. Yeah, that's it. And try and straighten the elbows. Straighten the elbows. So to press the wrist down and extend through the arms from the armpits to the elbow, elbow to the wrist. Stretch the fingers, open the palms. And imagine that your shoulder bones are being pressed into the floor. Good, okay, and then bring your arms up towards the ceiling. That's it, so they're pointing straight up. Keep them as wide as your shoulders. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, can you bring them over your head? If you haven't got room, you can fold the elbows. Or press your hands into the wall if you're close to the wall, that's it. And feel that length of your body from the tips of your fingers to the heels. And don't forget to breathe. Relax your jaw, relax your tongue. And then bring the arms back beside you. Okay, so then with the leg extensions, we'll start actually with bending one leg. So when you lie down, when you're there, you're going to bend your right knee towards your chest. If you have a hamstring issue or knee issue, hold around the back of the knee. Otherwise, you can hold around the front of the knee. And if you can't reach the knee, you've got a belt there to put around the knee, or the shin bone, I should say, and draw that knee towards your chest. But can you keep the left heel pressing into the wall, the inner heel and the big toe mound? Yeah, yes, but keep the leg well bent, Lorraine. Yeah, really, really bend the leg. I would hold, can you hold the back of the thigh with the fingers? Yeah, like that. And then let the leg kind of just be floppy. Yeah, that's it. Shoulders pressing down. Feel as if you've still got your arms out to the sides. You've got that broadness across your chest. Okay, and then release the right leg away. And change legs. So can you keep that foot pressed flat into the wall as you bend the left knee? Hold around the front or the back of the knee. Let your foot be quite floppy. And then draw that knee towards you. So although we're bending the leg, we are extending the inner groins. And the right leg, you'll be able to feel it. If you're fixing the foot into the wall, there's a part on the inner thigh that stretches a bit more deeply. Okay, and then release that leg. This action, actually, just so you get excited, this is how we start to prepare to do the splits. So if you want to do that one day, you've got to do a lot of this. Yeah, and then this next one even more so. So we're going to put the belt around the foot, the right foot, and take that leg straight up towards the ceiling. Okay, so place the belt around your right foot, take the leg up. Yes, have your belt undone so that you can have one bit of belt in each hand, and draw your shoulders, upper arm bones down. Lift the arch of the foot, open the sole of the foot, spread the toes, and think about the left thigh. So have the belt in one bit of belt in each hand, G. Yeah. So this, yeah, and then broaden those shoulders, good. And just go easy, because if you've been unwell, yeah. Okay, and then release and change. So take that right leg down, bring the left leg up with the belt. Keep those shoulders down. If you find that your head's getting thrown back, then take a support under the head. And broaden the sole of your foot. Feel the right inner thigh pressing down towards the floor. Don't forget to breathe. That's good. All right, and then you can release the pose and come out. Was that your knee clicking? Okay, all right, just your foot then. All right, and now bend your knees and roll to your side and come out from the side. Yes, be careful there. All right, so if you've got a chair, grab a chair. I've got one here. Yeah, so you've got two there and I've got this one here. And we're going to keep that chair against the wall. And what we'll do first is we'll do chair uttanasana. So you're going to bring your hands to the chair seat and your legs will be vertical, feet, inner edge of the feet parallel to each other. And then you're going to go forward. So if you can go with the head down, okay, that's fine. If you need more height, take more height. All right, and then you can also try folding the elbows like that. So it's quite strong in the shoulders with the elbows folded. If that's too strong, then you just hold the sides of the chair, hold the chair legs and let the elbows drop. Okay. All right, so off you go. So bring the chair quite close to you, David. Don't be so, yeah. And now put the hands down and then bend forwards. That's it, good. Yeah, so don't lean forward. So feet wider and put some height on the chair. It's surprising, you know, actually how much height we need sometimes. So you need to put where's your bolster or blocks? Yeah, take some height for your head, David. Yeah, forehead supported. And Lorraine, are your feet as wide as the mat? Yeah, take them a bit wider. That's it. Okay. So make sure you're not leaning forwards to get your head down. You need the legs to be vertical. So you have to sort of take the right amount of height. And it's difficult sometimes to get to know your poses. Obviously, there's a lot to remember. So you have to keep practicing these and think, oh yeah, I remember now, last time I did it, I needed 3 blocks or a bolster and a blanket. And then it was easier. And make sure the feet are as wide as your mat, David. And that, yeah, okay, good. So head supported is a good idea because then you can relax the brain and you're not sort of teetering on the edge and you can work on the legs a bit more. So push the heel bones down, lift the front thigh muscles up. Think about your buttock bones, and we were sitting in the cross-leg pose at the beginning, and I said to draw the flesh away from the buttock bones towards the outer hips. So imagine now that the backs of your thighs from the inner groin is moving towards the outer hip. There's a rotation there. Okay, and then let yourself come up now and release. And come up. So yeah, if you're struggling to get down, then don't suffer because your legs are already stretching enough. So you want to sort of feel as if you're folding from the hips, and the head comes down quite easily. All right, and then you can work on the legs instead of sort of being here. Okay, and then when you've got the arms folded like that, that's quite strong. So you can hold that way with the arms down like that and stay for some time. That's the idea of the height. Just have one more go. Those of you that found it quite easy, maybe you could take actually your hands to the floor and put your hands straight down. So David, you still need more height. You're struggling with that pillow. It's not doing anything. It's not for your elbows, it's for your head. So take those 2 foam blocks that are next to you. Those blue ones. Yeah. Grab those foam blocks, put them underneath the bolster. Put that on top. Right, start from there. So hinge from your hips, put your head down. That's it. Head comes down easily. It should come down easy. That's better. Now stretch your arms forwards and fold your elbows. That's good. Yeah, lovely. Yeah. Good, well done. All right, and then slowly come up and release and come out. Okay, good. Now we're going to keep the chair because we want to use it for the leg raises. And we did the leg raises from the floor. Now we're going to do them from the chair. You've got different heights on the chair. You've got the chair seat, you've got the chair back. Okay, so if you're using the chair back, then I recommend you put a blanket behind the chair back like that. So you've got a little rest there to put the heel on. So you bring your belt under the foot and then you bring your leg up. Now this might be too high to have the leg parallel to the hip. So you can put your leg on the chair seat and you can build it up with blocks, however high you need the blocks, all right? So there's no other way than experimenting yourself and seeing what height you need. So just give it a go with one leg and see what happens. Okay. Good. All right. Now bring your leg. Once you've experimented with the height and you've got the right height for you, then just be in Tadasana with the legs together while we wait for everyone to get ready. And yeah, I can see you fine, David. Yeah. Okay. So what you need to do is when you take your right leg up, we all think about the right leg going up. Like that's the fancy leg, but actually the fancy leg is the bottom leg. So your left foot, you have to pin down the big toe, little toe, and the heel bone. So there's 3 points, like you're on a tripod on that left foot. When you start to bring your right leg up, put the belt under the foot first, and you start to bend that knee, keep the left foot fixed to the floor. Try not to let the left foot move. It's a good method of concentration and attention to see if you can put your right leg up without letting your left foot move. So have a go. It's not easy.
Not when you're losing the belt,
no. And you get to a certain point, you think, oh no, I'm going to lose it. So then you have to sort of, yeah, see if you can slow down. Okay. And then pull on the sides of the belt. You get there, all right? Yeah. Pull on the sides of the belt, lift your chest. Roll your shoulders back and try to look at eye level. So although you might want to look at your right foot, of course you need to see that it's there in the right place, but then bring your eyes to eye level. Imagine your foot was also at eye level, which eventually it is when you hold the foot. Okay, and keep your arms nice and straight and pull on that belt with bringing your chest forwards, shoulders back. Now, the standing leg thigh, the top of that thigh bone, imagine it's being pressed back as if you want to straighten the leg from the top of the thigh. Like you've got the leaning tower of Pisa and you're trying to push it up straight. So you push it from the very, very top of the tower up to vertical, not from the bottom of the leg. Okay, and then bring that leg down, bring the feet back together. And we'll do the second side. So this might be different, it might be easier, it might be more difficult. So find the big toe mound, the little toe mound, and the heel bone of the right foot. Press those 3 points down like a tripod. Try and fix your brain there. And then carefully bring the left leg up without disturbing the right. Once you've done it a few times like this, it will start to become more familiar, you know? It's just a different way of moving so that you really stay in the root of the pose and you don't destabilize the pelvis, the alignment of the pelvis, okay? And then you're pulling on the belt, shoulders back, chest lifting, and the very top of your right thigh now, feel as if it's moving towards the back of your right leg. That's it. So David, press the, oh, that's your hamstring leg, isn't it? I think the right one. Yeah. So, but walk your hands further forwards. Oh, it's the left one. Okay. So then your right leg could be straighter. In that case. Yeah. Okay, we're going to come down now. So release and come down. Don't want to keep you there too long. Okay, now if you find that you're overbalancing, okay, so I can see Carol, you're struggling there with the balance, and Marilyn as well, you're holding onto a pillar. This is the other way that you do the pose. So if you struggle with the balance, what you do is you put your chair this way, and the leg that's going up, you put that on the outside, like that. And then you've got the wall here. So I'm really close to the wall. My foot is about a foot width away from the wall. Okay, and I can bring my arm down, my shoulder down here. You can be further away from the wall, but this is quite nice for those that struggle with the balance, to be next to the wall. So you're still getting the extension without that worry about falling over. And obviously bring your leg lower if your balance is really not good. Bring your leg much lower. Okay, so just a little tip. So we're going to repeat that pose. Okay, so once more each side. Have a go with the. So if you're going to use the wall for balance, put the left side near to the wall, and then bring the right leg up on your chair. Okay, and then try to remember the alignment of the feet when you take the right leg up, not to disturb the left foot. And then lift your chest, roll your shoulders back, keep the sternum bone elevated, chin level with the floor. Yes. Oh, that's better, Carol. Look at that. More stable now. Yeah. That's it, Marilyn. Yes, good as well. Okay, I can see your hips now, nice and level. All right, now, those that have got good balance and you're not worried about falling over, you can have a go at the next bit, and you'll be all right, Jee, because you can put your hands on the ceiling. Drop the belt and raise your arms up to vertical. Raise your arms up to vertical. Can you touch this? Oh, you can touch the light. There you go. So if you've got a low ceiling, it's quite helpful. Yeah, and if you're exactly right, Carol, if you're next to the wall, you can raise the left arm up the wall. Good. All right, well done. And then release and down you come. And do the other side. So left leg up, keep the right leg firm. That's it, well done. First of all, we've got to get that lift to the chest using the belts. So we draw the shoulders back, we bring the sternum bone forwards, we keep the eyes at eye level, keep the top of the right thigh pressing back, and then, if you can, slowly release the belt, stretch the arms up. It's all right. It always happens with the metal and the metal. Stretch the arms up. Feel that lift out of the pelvis, that freedom in the spine. And don't forget to breathe. And then down you come. And release. Good, well done. All right, and then once more, Uttanasana, head resting on the chair. So you put your supports back there, go forwards. You can just let the hand, hold the chair legs this time, let the elbows drop. Take some deep breaths in, deep breaths out. Bring the chair a bit closer to you, Lorraine, a bit closer to your feet because you're leaning forwards now, or walk forwards a bit more, a bit more. Yeah, that's better. Okay, and then you can come up from there and release. All right. So, yes, okay. I think what we'll do is we'll keep the chair today. Because there are a couple of people that haven't been for a while and we could all benefit from this. So we're going to do chair Parvottanasana, which is Pajvottanasana, which is a standing pose. And you start off like this with your, I don't know why I've got the chair against the wall, but I suppose some of you might have chairs that are a bit slidey, so you don't have to have your chair against the wall, but it's right against the end of my mat like that. And then I put my hands on the chair seat with the fingers pointing out. Feet are underneath the chair to start with. And I'm going to step my left leg back, all the way back towards the back edge of the mat. And I want to make sure that my right heel is in line with the left arch, like that. And we're just going to be there to start with, and then we'll go a bit further into it. All right, going forwards. Okay, so, yeah, that's it. Step that left leg a good distance back. So hands down on the chair seat. Sorry, David, I don't know your hand signals. Don't understand your hand signals there. What are you asking? You have to unmute yourself, I think.
Should the chair be on the right or the left?
Oh, it doesn't matter actually. It doesn't matter, okay. Because when we take the legs back, you're taking the left leg back and then the right leg back. So it's an ambidextrous chair. Okay. All right. Don't worry. I'll mute you. Okay. So have you all got the left leg back now? Yes. Now see if you can turn the left heel out, right out, so that the toes are about 60 degrees turned in. But can you keep the heel down on the floor? Yes. And that will really stretch the Achilles region. And then feel that the hips are level at the front. So you're trying to draw the right hip back and bring the left outer hip forwards. That's it. And you can keep the toes of the right foot down. I showed with my foot up, just to, you know, it's a good way to lift that thigh muscle up, but you put the right foot down, that's it. And just be there in what we call the concave back position. I think your legs are a bit too wide, G. So come a bit closer in with the left foot. Yeah, that's it. That's better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a bit too much. And then roll that outer left hip down towards the floor. This way. That's it. And keep the abdomen lifting towards your spine. But imagine that my hand's there between your shoulder blades, pressing the shoulder blades down towards the floor. Yes. Okay. And then step your left leg forwards. So you come back to the starting position. All right. And then we'll go again. So hands down on the chair, feet underneath the chair, and step your right leg back now. And look to see that the left heel is in line with the right arch. And you're turning that outer right hip forwards, drawing the outer left hip back. Yes. And then can you get the body parallel to the floor almost? I know you're on a chair there, but some of you, the upper back needs to be a bit deeper into the body. Okay, and then come up and change. So this time, when we go into the pose, we're here, and we've got the body sort of ready to go forwards. So as you go forwards, even if it's a tiny amount, doesn't matter, try not to let this hip come forwards as well. This right hip has to stay back. So you can even use your hand here, put the thumb on the inside, fingers on the outside, and push that back, okay, as you come forwards. And then the head can come down. All right, so left foot back now. A bit further back if you can, Jean, with that left foot. You got quite a narrow stride there. That's it. Yes. And now start to slide the body forwards, but keep in mind that right hip has to go back. So you might want to put your hand there just to remind the right outer hip to roll back. And stretch the body as far forwards as you can. Make the weight even on the inner and outer edges of the feet, between the 2 feet as well, so you're not leaning onto that right foot more than onto the left. Good, okay, and then come up and change. So last side. This is all preparation for the pose that I wanted to work on this week, Warrior One. So right leg is going back. Press the outer edge of the right foot down and then start to slide the hands forwards. And feel that upper back moving deep in. And then you can bring the head down. And yeah, hamstring. Okay, so you stay up a little higher. That's it. That's good. Okay, and then come up and release. And stand up. All right. So let's see now. Okay, I think we've all got the right chairs for this. So I'm going to show you. I think what we'll do is we'll do warrior pose without the chair first, and then I'll show you a method with the chair, which is quite fun to do. So we're going to put that away. And we're going to face the wall with the fingertips on the wall, and we'll put the toes near the wall. I've done a variation of this with blocks, but we're not going to use blocks today. So look at what I'm doing now with my legs and my arms. So my arms are forwards and I'm on the fingertips. My right leg is forwards, my left leg is back. You can slightly elevate the heel if you can't put it down on the floor. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to bend the right leg towards a right angle. But you've got to be careful not to do that. Okay, you could probably hear my hip click, which is not a bad thing, but we don't want the knee to go in and the buttock to go out. Okay, so right leg forwards, left leg back, yes. Good distance back now, because we need space for that leg to bend. Have your fingertips in line with your shoulders, so not too high. And then start to bend the right leg towards the right angle without leaning forward. So you've got to keep the arms straight, Lorraine. Got to keep the fingertips there, not the palms, so that you've got space. That's it, yeah, fingertips. See if you can bend the leg towards the right angle. Keep the outer right hip back, the outer left hip forwards. So fingertips on the wall, David. We're not leaning forwards now, the body's upright. Body's upright. Straight arms, straight trunk, and bend the right leg. That's it. Hands a bit lower. Okay, come up and release. So I think you didn't see that, David. So come up, all of you. I need to show that again. So on the second side, we'll go to the second side. But look, you start off with your arms straight like this. You're looking straight forwards. And then when you bend the leg, the arms stay straight. The arms stay straight. It's not that. Okay, the trunk should be upright, still doing Tadasana action. All right, so right leg, left leg forwards, right leg back. Bring that right leg, if you can, Lorraine, a bit further back, if it'll go. You can lift the heel, that's all right. You don't have to have the heel down. Try not to let the left hip go back. So that has to roll forwards. The right hip has to roll forwards, the outer left hip has to roll back. Can you bend the knees any more? Just use your fingertips, David, not the palms. Yeah, and straighten your arms. Straighten your arms. Yes, there we go. All right, and then come up and come out. Come out. So the reason that your arms are straight is because the back leg is extending. And this is the thing about this pose, is that we tend to bring all the weight forwards onto the front leg, okay, and the back leg doesn't extend. So we're going to repeat it this time with the heel. Now this is a little bit more wobbly, so let me show you a variation that you can do. You put the chair next to you, and you put your left heel up the wall and your right hand on the chair back, then step your right leg forwards like that. So that's for those that need the support. And now, can you see my back leg now? I'm trying to push the heel into the wall. As I bend that leg, I don't bend the back leg. I have to keep that back leg straight as I come down. Okay, and then if you can take one arm up. You can keep one hand on the chair or keep both, or bring both arms up. All right, so all of you put the left heel back against the wall. Do you want a chair? You okay? Yeah. Right leg forwards. That's it. Now think about the back leg more than you're thinking about the front leg. Remember what I said about the fancy leg in those leg raises that we did. It was the bottom leg that was more important. Okay, and now start to bend the leg, but don't look down at the floor. Think of warrior energy as in your chest going up. Like the Virabhadra was a Hindu god or character, if you say from stories, that would look up and wield his sword. So you've got to think of wielding your sword. That's it. And the sword you think about your sword could be your back leg. All right, and then you can take the arms up if you're able to, or just keep the arms down, that's fine. Well done. All right, you've been wielding your sword for a bit long there, so come up and we'll do the other side. So you can put the chair on, in fact you can keep the chair on the same side. Doesn't really make a difference. So right heel is up, so you get a lift in that hamstring area, outer left hip back, and now start to bend the leg, but fix your gaze on something that's just slightly above eye level as you bend that leg. Obviously you've got to check to see the shin bone is vertical and all of that, but you can only feel your back leg, you can't see it, so no point looking down at the floor. Think of the back of your right thigh filling out, pressing back. You can even touch it with your right hand if you can let go of the chair, and turn that thigh from inside out. And then take the legs, take the legs up, take the arms up. Yes, levitate. I want you to levitate. Good, well done. All right, and then come up and release and come out. So you've all got yoga chairs, I think, which is fantastic. Okay, because we're going to use the yoga chair. Carol, is yours is a yoga chair, isn't it? Yeah, okay. So watch what we're going to do next. I think I'm going to show this way. So if you're stepping through your chair, all right, and you're worried about falling over, what you have to remember is that you can put your chair down on the floor. Whoops, and it will collapse. You can put your chair down on the floor and step in like that, and then you can lift your chair up. So then you don't have to lift your leg up and down. Okay, the only difference with this variation is that we're going to bring one leg back. So when you've got your chair like that, put one leg in the chair back area and then bring the chair up again and step your left leg back, and then you're going to sit on your chair like that. Okay, that's just for those that have trouble with the balance. Otherwise, just put your right leg through. Marilyn, right leg through. After all that effort, right leg through first. Sorry, Lorraine. Put your right leg through first. And always, if you're a bit unsteady, put yourself near a wall or near a sofa or something. Now you've got both legs through, so you've got to take the left leg out and put it back behind you. There we go. You got it, well done. All right, now sit on your chair. So you've got your right leg through, left leg back, and your left heel is up. Let's bring the left heel up, yes. And you're hugging the center of your chair seat with your calf muscle. So you're going to bring the foot really close. Oh, now Lorraine, see, there we go. There's one person who needs a block under a right foot. Yeah, you literally are levitating there. Yes, you might have a tall chair actually. I don't know. So the foot should be down. So if it's not, you might need to put a block there. If you're taller, you might even need a block under your thigh. I think you're all right there. Okay, now your hands are on the back of the chair and you push the back of the chair to try and get a little more stretch in that back leg, and then see if you can straighten the back leg. It's not easy. You might feel a big stretch on the front of that left thigh now. You might not even be able to straighten the leg because you found an area of tightness that just won't quite let go. No, facing that way on this pose. Yeah, that's it. All the hips facing forwards. But it's quite a nice way to stay in the pose and get that work. Relax your shoulders, David. Yeah, down, down, down. And then you can push the back of the hand, the heel of the hand into the back of the chair, fingers up, and slightly bend the elbows like you're trying to push the thoracic spine forwards a little bit more. Okay, and then release and carefully come out. And put the other leg through. So again, you can tip the chair forwards, you can start from standing, however you find it. If you can hang on to something, you can get that leg through, left leg through, right leg back. And you're sitting on your chair, gripping the chair back with your calf muscle, and then stretch the right leg back. Try and keep the right hip bone or the top of the right pelvis touching the chair seat so that the hips are level. So on this side, G, see if you can get your outer right thigh forwards more. Like that, that's it, yes. And then push onto the back of the chair, lift your chest. See if you can straighten that back leg even a tiny bit more. Looks easy and it feels okay at first, but then you realise, oh, actually, yeah, that area is definitely opening up, or not. Okay, and then release and come out, and carefully come out and stand up. Someone once said to me, when I took a load of chairs to a gym once to teach a class, she said, "Oh, have you got loads of old people today?" She was only in her 20s. So I had to sort of give her a chair lesson, and then she ate her words after that. And what's wrong with old people anyway? We're all getting old, you know, and we're getting stronger as we get older. That's why we do our younger yoga practice, hopefully. Anyway, so okay. I think what we'll do now is we'll do this, the last one with a chair as well, because it's nice to do this one with a chair, which is Prasarita Padottanasana. So the feet are nice and wide, you've got your toes turned slightly in, and then you've got your chair there, so you can go forwards, you can put your head on the bolster again, or you can fold your elbows, or you can stretch your arms forwards and rest your forehead down. Okay? So chair work is both supportive and opening. And it's a really, really good prop. So I'm glad to see that you've all invested in a yoga chair. Brilliant. Toes in, heels out. Make sure that you can fully rest the forehead, that you're not hovering again. So there's no worries, but I think because the legs are a bit wider, you might find it a little easier to go down now. And make sure that you've still got that grip of the quadricep muscles, so you're still lifting there. And either stretch the arms forwards or fold the elbows. You can always use the forearms as a rest for your forehead if the head doesn't quite touch. And spread the backs of the thighs. And this pose, you know, it can be strong work in the legs, and it should be, because we need to work our legs. We always need to work the legs. They're part of or they're called the organs of action. In yogic texts, they're called karmendriyas, which means the organs of action. Karma means action. So we have to work them in order to help the other parts of the body, particularly the spine, and of course the circulation, and all of those things that go on. So don't forget the legs, but do rest the brain, rest the head. Okay, and then you can slowly come up from there. Walk your feet in towards each other and come up. Yes. And then stand up. Yeah, I really like that one too. Okay, so we'll put the chairs to one side, may or may not need them. And we're going to come down to the floor now for, well, some people have a challenge with this pose. Now I'm going to start with my side to the camera so that you can see what I'm doing with my feet. You don't have to put your side to the camera, you can sit facing me. But this is Virasana, so we come to the floor and you bring your feet either side of those wide blocks, and then before you sit, you draw the calf flesh back and out to the side. So you're sitting just with your buttock bones on those blocks, all right? Feet going straight back. If you've got problems with the ankles, you put the rolled blanket underneath, and to move the blocks even, yeah, so they're only between the feet. The blocks are only between my feet, they're not between my shins. Okay, and if you don't need two, you don't have to use two. I'm just showing with two because it's a kind of standard lift. You might need more than two, you might need 3 or 4, you might need less. Okay. You right there, G? Yeah? Good. Okay, so I'm going to face the camera so I can see you all. Now, so it's a good idea to do this pose, quite frequently. If you're sitting at home and you sat in your chair. I have a sofa at home, but it's a cat sofa. I don't actually use it. I sit on the floor most of the time. So I'm either sitting cross-legged or sitting in this pose. My friends have got to know me now. I don't like chairs very much because, well, I love my sofa to lie on actually with the cats, but not really to sit on and watch things. I usually sit on the floor so that I can practice these poses, and that really helps. So when you look down at your feet, your toes should be all pointing back. The toenails should be pressing into the floor, and it's that little toenails that's the hardest one. I still have to press my little toenail down. Now, I think probably, Lorraine, you've got your blocks under your thighs because I can see them, and I shouldn't be able to see them. Push them right back so that they are in between your feet, and you'll find it's a bit more comfortable. Yeah. Okay. And then I'm using my thumbs. I've got my thumbs hooked on the inside of my heel bones, and I'm just rolling the heel bones out. I've got my fingers on the outer ankle bones, and I'm pushing them in. And that's to remind the feet, the feet not to roll like this. Yeah. So the very top of the shin bone and the ankle bone is down. And then let's interlock our fingers and bring the thumbs to touch. Turn the palms away, and stretch the arms up and lift up. And press your palms to the ceiling. Keep the eyes softly open, shin bones firmly pressing down, arms extending up. And then release the arms and change the interlock. So move the fingers over one. Got that? Yeah. Palms forwards, raise the arms up and stretch up. Shin bones pressing down. And then release the arms all the way down. And now one more thing. We're going to turn to your right, so I'll better turn the other way. Take the left hand and grab the right knee or shin, and take the right hand behind you and turn towards your right side. And look over your right shoulder. Lift the sternum bone up, chest up. Sorry, look over your left shoulder, I should have said. No, your right shoulder, beg your pardon. Okay, come back to the centre. Just ignore me and carry on. Turn to the left and look over your right shoulder. No, look over your left shoulder now. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you. That's it. Really roll that left shoulder back and lift the side of your right waist. And that is correct. I'm saying the right thing now. Right waist is to lift, left shoulder back. And now come back to the front. All right, now to come out of this pose, the best way is to sit to the side like that and then throw your legs out very quickly. Try not to think too much, just throw your legs out. Yes. And then you're sitting in Dandasana, this pose, where the legs are extended forwards, your hands beside your hips, press the thighs down, open all the toes. And if you look at your feet, you'll see that there's a little bit of colour change maybe in one foot compared to the other. Okay, and then just release the legs. All right, so we're going to take a pose called, well, we're going to have a little practice at this. It's called Supta Virasana. Yes, the dreaded, Jean, the dreaded Supta. She's smiling grimly because she knows what this one is. But we're just going to approach it with a very sort of scientific, slow approach. And actually, I tell you what, let's do it with a chair, seeing as you've all got a chair. And this is a really good method. So the pose is that pose you've just done, but lying back. So Supta means supine. So I'm going to turn my chair upside down so that the chair back is on the floor and the legs are all facing towards me this way. So let's see if you do that first so I can see, and put it right on the back edge of your mat. Yeah. And then has everybody got like a bolster or some cushions? Sofa cushions work well. Yeah, that's it, David. You turn it around so all the chair legs are facing towards you. Otherwise it folds up. Okay, so let me show you what I'm going to do with the bolster. I'm putting it against the chair like that. It's not a very firm bolster. It's quite squashy. And if you were sitting on two foams, you could stay sitting on two foams. If you were sitting on one, stay sitting on one. If you've got any extra padding, put it behind your bolster if it's a very squashy one. If you haven't got a bolster but you've got sofa cushions, you can use those. Yeah. Okay, good. And then you sit back in that pose that you just sat in. And then you lie on your little support, and you've got the legs here for the arms like that. And those that want to, you can even bring your arms over and fold your elbows like that. So it's a really clever way to do that pose lying back. Eventually you lie back to the floor. All right, now what do you do with that blanket? So yeah, the thing about protecting your feet is what it does, if you just shove a blanket in, it disrupts the level of your pelvis, believe it or not. So when you need extra padding for your feet, let me show you how to do it properly. You take that blanket and you make it thick like that, but you make it the same length as your shin bones. So fold that blanket in half, or fold your mat in half if you've got it, yeah. Oh, what do you got there? Yes, brilliant, all right. And then put that on the floor first, like that, under the blocks. Turn it around so it's it's lengthways, turn it around. Yep, make sure it's not all lumpy and bumpy. Then put your blocks on top. So then when you put your feet down on that lift, your shin bones are the same level as your feet. Obviously you might need to adjust it. And again, you've got your buttocks, yeah. Just put your buttock bones on that lift. Okay. Do you see what I mean, Lorraine? Yeah, much better. All right, and then go back if you can. Now, if you're finding this really easy, Gee, you look like you're just sitting watching TV. So I think, yes, then you can come further forwards and move the bolster further down, like that. So those that are finding it quite easy, you can slide yourself further forwards and slide the bolster further down. So then the incline is a bit more. Might have to adjust because my head's getting pushed into the top of the chair. Yeah, but try it and see.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then you get a bigger stretch on your thighs.
Yeah.
Of course, your head should be supported as well. So it's not perfect because not all of you have got bolsters, but you can get the understanding. And if you want to try with the arms over your head. So how does that feel, Lorraine? Is it strong? It's hard or it's easy? Is it okay? Thumbs up? Yeah. Oh, down. Okay, thumbs down. All right. And where are you feeling it? Just show me with your hands where you're feeling it. Oh, the tops of your feet. Okay, that's all right. You'll get used to that. You've just got to find the right support. But if it's not in your back of your thighs, that's all right. Yeah, just unfold it a bit more. That is a problem for some people, I'm afraid. I think I've got hard feet now after all these years. But I'm glad, I don't mean this to be unkind, but I'm glad to hear that because it means that the pose is right. If it's hurting the feet only, it's just because the surface area is not padded enough for you. Yeah. Okay, and if you've got your elbows folded, change the cross of the elbows. That's it. And when you stretch your arms back, Lorraine, do you touch that wall? almost. Not quite. Yeah, that would be a good way to get more weight in your shin bones. But anyway, don't worry too much about that. Okay, and then all of you now, bring your arms back and come up. Well done. So let me show you what I'm aiming you for eventually, just so you get a picture of where we're going with this. So the chair method is brilliant, but eventually you do away with all that, and you just come down to either a bolster like that, okay, or you come to the floor. So that's why the chair is so good, because it gives you the actions without you, because if you got some of you to go down like this, your knees would be up, and you would be really uncomfortable and you wouldn't be able to hold it. So that way you get the actions, and then eventually you'll learn to go lower and lower. All right? Okay, so again, just stretch the legs forwards in Dandasana and have the feet let's have the feet as wide as the mat. Sit on a little bit of lift, so a folded blanket or a block. Okay, and then take the arms up into Urdhva Hastasana and turn towards your right side. So bring the right hand behind you and hold the outer right knee with the left hand and turn towards your right side. That's it. Feet as wide as the mat. Yes, and raise the arms up and then turn. Yeah. Okay, and then when you've done that once, come back to the front and change sides. So once again, raise the arms up. Inhale, exhale, turn to the left. So you're holding the left knee with the right hand. Right hand is behind you. Roll the chest towards the left. Turn the head towards the left. And then come back to the center and once more raise the arms up. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, turn. Yeah, twist work on the digestion. And then back to the center last time, arms lifting. Deep breath in, exhale, turn to the left. Okay, well done. And then release, and out you come. So before we do Shavasana, we're going to do a lying down pose. Again, you might need support for your head for this. You need to have your legs crossed for this. So what we'll do is we'll just lie down first, and then you can sort of make sure you've got room in a minute to stretch the legs out for Shavasana. But first what we'll do is we'll cross the shins and try and bring the feet towards the buttocks. You can grab the feet with the hands and then bring the feet and the legs down like so. All right, and then halfway through we'll change the cross of the legs like that. Okay, so we're just going towards Shavasana but crossing the legs first in Supta Swastikasana. Okay, so as soon as you're ready, just lie down and bring your legs towards you, cross the shins. Remember which cross you've got. Try and bring the feet towards the buttocks and then bring the knees down towards the floor. The knees won't touch the floor, but the feet should be touching the floor, and then just let your arms relax. So this is very good for the groin opening. Hip work, it also rests the hamstrings. And start to focus on the inhalation, exhalation. So we're just going to do a little bit of breath awareness here before we do Shavasana. So what I want you to think about is just follow the rhythm of your natural breathing and without trying to change it in any way. So you have to sort of just follow the breath. Follow the rhythm of the breath. And that means you have to be really attentive not to grip the throat or clench the teeth or anything like that. You're just really taking your mind to watch how you breathe. And then once you get in touch with that, you just take a few cycles of slightly deeper inhalation, deeper exhalation. So you're slightly extending the length of the breath, but particularly the exhalation. And that exhalation, just send that to any area of the body which feels particularly tight or tense. Or simply, when you exhale, feel as if the back of the brain, like water, is releasing down towards the heart. And that way, you'll help the mind to also quieten, the chatter to quieten in the mind. So you just do a few cycles of a slightly deeper inhalation, but maybe a even longer exhalation. And then after a few cycles of that, in your own time, you can change the cross of the legs. And every time you take that exhalation, feel as if there is a general softening and releasing feeling across the whole body. But more importantly, in the brain, so that there's not this pressure in the head. This urgency to do anything or think about anything. Just allow the breath to be your point of focus. So you really stay in the moment of quietness, observing the breath. And now for the last few cycles, feel as if when you breathe out, you're really directing the exhalation towards the back of the chest. And feel that area surrendering into the floor on the exhalation. And now bring your feet to the floor. After your next exhalation, bring your feet to the floor, and you can extend your legs out. And lie flat for Shavasana. And when you do your Shavasana, if you want to stay with the breath to quieten the mind, then do so. Although don't do anything too strenuous, like deep breathing, but stay with that mindfulness on the inhalation and the exhalation. And focus on the nasal passages being really soft and really receptive. So imagine that you can even feel the hairs on the inside of your nostrils where the breath touches the hairs. Feel that softness. Maybe you can even feel the change of pressure in the mouth, in the jaw, in the cheekbones, in the eyes when you take a breath in. And the change when you take a breath out. And maybe you're even sensitive enough to observe the pause in between the breaths, where there's the interchange. There's a very slight moment, almost like you're suspended in time between the breaths. And that is a very quiet place if you can find it. That's why sometimes with our breath techniques, we'll do pauses for longer. We'll actually increase the length of the pauses, and that we practice that in pranayama sessions that we do. So just being aware of the breath can be incredibly quietening. And then for your last couple of minutes now, just let go and surrender. All right, and then if you want to stay in Shavasana, please do. Otherwise, you can bend your knees and come out. And let me know any questions when I send the recording. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Have a good day. Bye for now.